What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Twins Latest. I'm Sam Calder. Hope you are all doing well. We are just 3 days away from the Twins' first spring training game this coming Friday. If you are excited, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel for daily Twins updates as we approach the official start of baseball season. And I should note, before we get into the episode, about 15 seconds ago, before I pressed record, I saw a little news blurb that was saying Pablo Lopez was removed from today's live batting practice session. I don't know the severity of what happened or any sort of details into the situation. I will have more on that in tomorrow's episode, but I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update before we dive in. But without any further ado, let's get the party started. And we're going to kick off the episode today with our prospect deep dive. Today's prospect is a guy we have not talked a whole lot about. He's very much an up-and-comer in the Twins system. I'm talking about Brandon Winkur. He was the Twins' third-round pick of the 2023 MLB draft, the same draft that the Twins took Walker Jenkins, Luke Keeschall, and yesterday's prospect deep dive, Charlie Soto. Like Soto, Winkur was drafted out of high school, so he'll only be 21 years old this coming season. Still very, very young. He is ranked as the Twins' number 13 prospect on MLB Pipeline and number 18 on Fangraphs. But like I said yesterday with Soto, these rankings are slightly outdated. They're from the end of the 2025 season. So once the 2026 team rankings come out, I will give you guys an update. I labeled him as an outfielder, though he's pretty much a utility bat at this point. He spent time at shortstop, third base, and center field last season. He was a far better center fielder defensively than he was at third base or shortstop. He had a combined 15 errors in the infield compared to just 2 in center last season. So one would think that center field is where he projects to wind up long term. Last year at high single A, he hit .226 with a .304 on-base percentage and 17 home runs over 122 games. He stole 26 bases as well. I think there definitely was some bad luck that can at least partially be attributed to his low batting average. His BABIP was only .275, which is pretty low. He had a .321 BABIP in 2024, just for some perspective. So he definitely got a little unlucky in that regard. The biggest issue in Winkur's game is his swing and misses. He had a 25% strikeout rate at high single A last year and an even higher 32.2% whiff rate. That definitely gives me some worries about the long-term outlook. Because if you're whiffing that much at one of the lower level stops in the minors, that's typically not a good sign. One area we have seen small improvements in is Winkur using all parts of the field. He's dropped his pull rate every year of his professional career. It started at 60% in 2023, dropped down to 46% last season. So even though the batting average, all in all, was pretty low, there are reasons to believe that he is still growing as a hitter, and you would hope so for a guy that young. Hopefully, we continue to see that growth here in 2026. I would assume he'll probably start at AAA again. It wouldn't shock me if he spends the entire season there. The jump from high A to AA is widely considered the hardest jump to make in the minors. So I think he may just need to take the full year to develop before being promoted. That's not the worst case scenario for him. It's not like that's a bad thing necessarily. And if that's the case and he is at high A for the whole season, I really want to see that batting average up around 260-ish, give or take. He probably should have been around 245, 250 last year. So 260 wouldn't be a massive jump, all things considered. But I would like to see the average climb as a result of him putting the ball in play more. Let's see that strikeout rate drop from 28% to around 20%. If he can accomplish that, I think that'll really, really help his career trajectory and possibly make him a top 5 to 10 prospect in the Twin system at this time next year. All in all, there is a lot of upside with Brandon Winkur, but there's also downside, and this will be a big year for him because if he hits 230 again at high A, he may just start to project to be somebody who, plain and simple, just doesn't project to be a guy that makes it to the majors. But that's worst case scenario, and I hope it does not come to that. Pivoting from Brandon Winkur, just when you think the Twins are done adding relievers, They add another. This time it is Cody Laweryson. I might have butchered that entirely. I'm not entirely sure if it's Laweryson or Laweryson. So I apologize if I severely butchered that. He has been in the Twins system for the entirety of his professional career. He was drafted out of the University of Maine in the 14th round of the 2019 MLB draft. He made his MLB debut last year with the Twins and was pretty darn good, albeit in a very small sample size. He had a 1.17 ERA over 7 2/3 innings, 7 strikeouts, no walks. If we get 60 innings of that, he's the reliever of the year in the MLB. That's not likely, though. His advanced metrics, though, do back up that 7 2/3 inning stretch. He obviously wasn't eligible for any, advanced metrics because it was such a small sample size, but he was outstanding. He allowed virtually no hard contact. He got a lot of guys to chase. He drew swings on 37.1% of pitches not in the strike zone, which would have been 4% higher than any eligible pitcher. His expected ERA was still below 2, so he was just a darn good pitcher. He didn't get lucky. He's got a 3-pitch mix with a 4-seam fastball, a changeup, and a cutter. A bit of an unorthodox arsenal, to say the least, but it clearly worked for him. He threw his fastball 62% of the time, his changeup 27%, and the cutter 11%. Looking at his pitch profiles, his fastball gets a ton of horizontal movement, which is why it's such a good pitch, and he throws it 62% of the time. According to StatCast, it gets 6 inches more of horizontal movement than the average MLB fastball, which is crazy. He located it really, really well, too. His cutter is also a really nice pitch when he throws it. I mentioned he only threw it 11% of the time. None of his pitches move a lot vertically, but they all generate a good amount of swings and misses. Looking at the minor league production over the course of his career, he's always been solid. I mean, he's thrown 327 career innings in the minors with a 3.39 ERA and 376 strikeouts to 107 walks. So while his 7 2/3 innings in the majors will not flawlessly translate year over year, his career production in the minors would indicate he can be a solid major league reliever. I do think he'll start at AAA again, just with how many other relievers are already in the Twin system that they've brought in over the last month. But that doesn't mean we won't see Laweryson at some point in the majors, because after last season, he most definitely earned another opportunity. I think it's just a matter of when it comes and not if it comes. Let's shift the focus from Cody Laweryson. I talked about a few collegiate players who could very well end up being targets for the Twins in the MLB draft this coming summer. I want to circle back to them because the college baseball season started on Friday. So let's take a look at how those guys did. I brought up 4 names the first time around. UCLA shortstop Rock Chalowski, Alabama shortstop Justin LeBron, Georgia Tech outfielder Drew Burress, and Texas A&M shortstop Chris Hakopian. I will start with Rock Chalowski. After the first weekend of college baseball, he went 4 for 12 with 2 doubles and a home run, along with a pair of strikeouts and a pair of walks. A pretty phenomenal start to the season for the projected number 1 overall pick. And if he keeps it up, I mean, the Twins will have no shot of drafting him at number 3 because he'll be off the board. Next up, we have Drew Burress, and he was the name I mentioned as the guy I liked the most from this group, aside from Chalowski. He went 3 for 13 with a pair of doubles and a pair of stolen bases the first weekend. I'm not concerned about the batting average being below 250. It's been 3 games. He has 13 at-bats, but he struck out 3 times in 15 plate appearances. Not ideal, but again, very small sample size, very talented hitter who we've seen it for 2 years now. I think it's just a relatively slow start to the season for his standards. Then comes Justin LeBron, who, of all the names we're talking about today, had the best opening weekend. He finished 3 for 11 with a pair of home runs and 3 stolen bases on 3 attempts. He also drew 3 walks without striking out once. He definitely helped his draft stock this weekend, even though he's already a projected top 3 to 5 pick. And then lastly, we have Texas A&M shortstop Chris Hakopian. He only played in 2 of Texas A&M's 3 games, but it was not for a lack of performance. He went 4 for 9 with a pair of walks, no extra base hits, but he still got on base in 6 of 11 plate appearances. He didn't strike out at all either, so it was a very impressive opening weekend for him. While it's still too early to dramatically adjust draft rankings, if I had to rank these 4 guys in order after this weekend, I would go like this: Chalowski 1, LeBron 2, Burris 3, and Hakopian 4. For what it's worth, that's how they're being ranked currently by most draft rankings I've seen. But before last weekend, I would have had Burris ahead of LeBron. The 3 strikeouts through 3 games just worry me a little bit. He hasn't had strikeout concerns up to this point. But that, along with no walks, is not what you want to see from, a guy that you're considering taking with a top 3 pick. It is still very early for all these guys, like I said. I mean, we're 3% of the way, give or take, through the college season. But I just wanted to give you guys a little update on the draft prospects I brought up a couple weeks ago. I plan to keep adjusting my own draft rankings over the next handful of months leading up to the draft. But these 4 are all most definitely on the Twins' radar as of right now. And then lastly, to wrap up the episode, we've got our Twins player preview. We're starting to run out of names. And it's actually not certain that this guy will be on the opening day roster. But today we are looking at outfielder James Outman. Outman was acquired at the trade deadline last summer from the Dodgers in the Brock Stewart trade. It was a straight up 1-for-1 swap. And it's very possible that both the Twins and the Dodgers actually lost in this trade, considering Stewart's health concerns. But we're talking about Outman here. Outman broke out with the Dodgers in 2023. He hit .248 with a .353 on-base percentage over 151 games. He hit 23 home runs, stole 16 bases. Looked like he was really turning into a fine young player in the outfield. His expected batting average that season was only .225, and as we've seen since, though, he might have gotten a little lucky that year. In 2024, he spent 53 games in the majors with the Dodgers before being sent back down to AAA. He hit .147 with a .256 on-base percentage, and his power numbers just went down the toilet as well. He was solid at AAA, though, so it was fair to wonder if he just needed to get some confidence back. 2025, though, was just more of the same. I mean, he spent 22 games with the Dodgers compared to 70 games at AAA. In the majors, he hit .103. I mean, it really seemed like he was kind of a one-year wonder. So the Dodgers traded him to us, and he was maybe slightly better with the Twins, not much. He hit .147, and his power numbers were slightly higher, still nothing special by any means. He wasn't great at AAA with the St. Paul Saints either, so it's kind of fair to wonder where he starts the season in 2026. Outman really struggles when it comes to swings and misses. In 2023, when he broke out, he had a whiff rate in the 2nd percentile of all major league hitters. That number has only gotten worse in the last couple seasons. He whiffed on 36.6% of his swings in 2023. That number was up to 40.4% last year. That's just not a major league caliber hitter. There's really no other way of putting it. He struck out in 42.6% of his plate appearances last year, and his strikeout rate has been no better than 31.9% over any season. And that number is still remarkably high. I mean, 31.9% is around the 5th percentile of all major league hitters. So the fact that that's his career best is not a good thing. There's just nothing in his profile that suggests he's currently anything more than a minor league hitter, just to put it bluntly. He doesn't hit the ball hard. He doesn't draw walks. And most notably, like I said, he strikes out way too much. That's the biggest thing that will need to change, and I'm just not certain it ever will. Even if he gets the strikeout rate down to, let's say, 30%, that's still an extremely high number. And so for that reason, I frankly would be shocked if he doesn't start the year at AAA. He's projected to start in the majors, according to Roster Resource, on the bench. There's just no way. I'm just going to say it. I will be very surprised if he is anywhere but AAA. Frankly, I think the odds of him getting DFA'd are higher than the odds of him opening the year with the Twins. He's just not a major league hitter. I think his 2023 season was a fluke, and I just can't see him being an impactful piece of the Twins offense this season or any other season, though I would love to be wrong, and I would love to see him return to 2023 levels of James Outman. But that's all I've got. So that is going to do it for today's episode. Thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a ton. If you've got a Twins-related topic or topics that you want me to touch on in a future episode, please let me know down below in the comments. But until next time, this has been Twins Latest. I'm Sam Calder, and I'm out.